Welcome to round 11 with Big Dell's tips for PNGBet.com. Well, the magic round, it was very magic. A lot of players sin bin and put on a report. That's what the game wanted at the moment. I think it was an overreaction, but let's see if we can get you some winners this week. I was pretty solid last week, 7 from 8. I know a lot of you guys out there tipped 8 from 8, so well done to you guys, not so well done to me. First game we got on Thursday night is the Cowboys versus the Knights. Once again, the Knights. You just can't trust the Knights. I tipped the Knights to beat the Tigers last week. They certainly cost me. And the problem here is they relied too much on Ponga. Ponga was out injured again. They didn't have a plan B. The Tigers got off to a really good start, 22-4. And what I did like what the Tigers did to the Knights, they moved them around through the middle third, but also on the edges on the back of guys like Adam Dewey. Now they're playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they showed a bit of ticker the other night, but once again, the Roosters found a way to beat them. All about trusting what's in your system. So the Cowboys, for me, at home, they're going to be tough to beat here. Cole Felt's playing some really good football. Big Malolo, what an absolute weapon. Once again, I just don't know about the Knights. I can't get a gauge on them. I'm looking at the price of Cowboys $1.52, the Knights $2.37. I just don't know which side's going to come out for the Knights. More consistently from the Cowboys, but I'm taking the Cowboys at home. They're playing good football on the back of guys like Drinkwater and young Clifford. Drinkwater scoring tries, setting tries up. So for me, get on the Cowboys minus the 4.5. $1.90. I reckon that's a really good bet, and you'll cash in on that. The Knights here, their season's going hard and fast. A lot of people tipped them to make the 8. I just can't see them making the 8. I can't get a consistent read on these guys. Oh yes, well we love this match. The West Tigers versus the Warriors. The Warriors, they're playing some really good football at the moment. They seem to be in some games, but they just can't close it out in the last 15-20. Their first halves have been really good, but their second halves, they just go missing a little bit. So that's up to guys like RTS. I know he does a lot of the talking there, but they're young halves. Harris DeVita, he's the guy that's got to take some responsibility there. They've got a really solid forward pack. But once you play the West Tigers, you've got to start hard and fast, but you've got to finish off the Tigers. The Tigers are playing some really good football. Master stroke by Madge last week. I didn't agree with it. Mate, Adam Dewey's been your best player for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and then you push him into the centres. Put Moses Mbye to 5'8". It's a master stroke. I think Dewey scored a couple of tries. He's setting tries up. But there's a real confidence through that Tigers now. You just don't know which Tigers team's going to come out and play. They're rocks and diamonds. This is a good match. Great price for the West Tigers here, $2.50. The Warriors $1.47. I don't know why, but I'm going to take Tigers here. $2.50. When they're playing their best football, you can just see why Madge is so happy. But when they're not playing their best football, you can see why he's grumpy. So I'm not sure which Tigers team's going to come out this week, but I'm just going to take West Tigers to win at $2.50. That's my tip for this week because they're playing such good football when they're on. What they did in Newcastle last week, I want to see more of that from the West Tigers, and it's got to be on the back of guys like Dane Laurie, who's been an absolute find for the season. I know they're going to have probably young Sam Walker as Rookie of the Year, but Dane Laurie, everything he does is class, and he's very composed. So this will be a cracking game, but for mine, I'm going to the West Tigers. And what a good price at $2.50. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Well, who doesn't like a local derby? The Sharks versus the Dragons. Well, it's been a tough couple of weeks for both these sides. The Sharks, they haven't had a win for quite a while now. They were close on the weekend. They got back against South, but South found a way just to do what they do and just finish them off. The Dragons, on the other hand, there's going to be some suspensions. Josh Maguire, also Matt Duffy at fullback. He's been unbelievable, so they could be out for a month. We just don't know with Matt Duffy, so they've got to dig deep here. Fuimaono, he's going to be suspended as well, so the Dragons up against it here. The Sharks are $1.73, the Dragons $1.93. Where do you go here? Well, I say you throw the form guide out the window and you just go with the local derby feel on who you think can win this game. Both these teams' form hasn't been good. Where do I go? I think I have to go with the Sharks in this one. I think the Sharks are going to have probably more players ready to go. Not so many injuries and suspensions. And I think the Sharks they're hungrier than the Dragons at the moment. The Dragons, I think they lost the last 4 out of the last 5 games. And for me, the Sharks in the local derby, it's going to hurt me being an ex-Dragons man. But I think the Sharks can get the job done here because I think the Dragons are depleted. Suspensions and injuries have got them ravaged. Well, the Gold Coast Titans and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Well, both of these teams, they found it hard in Magic Round. They got absolutely pummeled. The Titans couldn't handle the Panthers. Nathan Cleary put on a show there, and they're seeing what it's like to be a genuine top 4 side now. You know, people are talking about the Titans, oh mate, they can do this, they can do that. But what they've learned now is you've got to defend. If you're not going to defend, you're not going to make the top 8. It's no good just scoring tries. You've got to defend it. And that's what I think their weakness is, the Gold Coast Titans. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, same sort of thing. The Bulldogs should have won that game against the Raiders. It was 11-13. I think one of the Bulldogs players kicks it dead. They get a 7-tackle set, the Raiders, and then all of a sudden, the Raiders get in front. It's just dumb football. And the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, I think they're going to struggle against the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans, they're finding some good form on the back of guys like Brimson and Anthony Don, the winger, but also their halves. Fogarty's doing a really good job getting them around, but they've got to be tougher through their middle forward pack. Defence wins you games. The Bulldogs, it's about belief. If you win those tight games, if they would have won that game against the Raiders, there's a bit more belief in there. They've won 1 game this season. They've got some very talented players in there. I like the inclusion of Wakeham last week. I think he did a really good job. Avarillo's a very good half, but once again, it comes back to their leadership of their senior players. So where am I going in this one? I'm going the Titans. I'm going the Titans minus the 12.5. I think they'll bounce back. Justin Holbrook will be absolutely ropeable without their defences going at the moment. And I know they're missing that big guy, David Fafita. He'll be out for another week. So I expect the Titans to buckle on down and to rip into the Bulldogs this week. But the Bulldogs, you just can't help but feel sorry for them. They were close. 2 points they lost, and they really should have won that game. The Raiders got out of a jail. Yeah. Well, I love when the Roosters play the Broncos. These two teams have got a lot of history about playing one another. The Broncos usually rise for the Roosters. The Roosters, they've been getting so many injuries. Tedesco, he's trying to do his best from the back there. Everyone's talking about Tommy Turbo. Tedesco put on a show there at Suncorp Stadium. Mate, there was magic tricks left, right and centre. And what I like too is Lachlan Land came back into the team, combined well with young Sam Walker. Sam Walker, just so much composure for a young bloke. We know what their forward pack can do. Very strong forward pack. Victor Radley, I like him. Victor the Inflictor. What a good nickname. And the Broncos, that was embarrassing last week. It was disappointing. Magic Round was at their stadium, and they just couldn't go with Manly. They're disappointing. They're just not mentally tough enough at the moment. I think Kevin Walters actually said that. He said at the moment that they're too mentally soft. So that comes from your senior players. Guys like Milford need to lead from the front. He's got no contract for next year at the moment. Kevin Walters said there's an opportunity for him, but at the moment, they're just some silly little things getting into their game, and they're not mentally tough enough to ride the wave out. So where I'm going in this one, Roosters are $1.09. That's way short. I haven't seen a Broncos team out to $6.15 for a long time. I know they've had some big prices, but at the SCG, the Roosters, where do I go here? Well, I'm sorry, but the Roosters, minus 7.5 for $1.80, that's a steal. The Broncos defence is just not tough enough at the moment. I'd like to be wrong. I hope they can prove me wrong, but they need to bounce back here. They need to bounce back in a big way, the Broncos. They only had 2 wins for the season, but the Roosters, they've shown so much depth and so much class. No matter who comes into the team, they know their role. I like their culture and their setup. It's next man up, and at the moment, they're all doing their job. So what a match we have here for you. The Storm versus the Raiders. These two teams at their best, it is a quality match. At the moment, the Raiders, certainly not at their best. They found a way to win against the Bulldogs last week. I thought they were gone. As soon as they had to play a sin bin, and big Josh Papali'i was sent off, I thought, oh no, the Raiders are going to lose their 6th in a row here. And they found a way to win. The Bulldogs certainly helped their cause, but on the back of Caleb Aikens, who played really well from fullback last week, everything he did was quality. And when they needed something at the end there, Curtis Scott comes up with a try. Georgie Williams, a little halfback, he started it. But the Storm, Pappenhausen goes down in the first 11 or 12 minutes. It's unfortunate for Pappenhausen. He's been in the wars of late. He was playing some great football this season. But on the back of guys like Justin Olam, Remus Smith, they're playing such great football. Nico Hines. When you don't have Cam Munster and you don't have Harry Grant and you can still run up 40 points against a team, you know you've got a good culture there. Where do I go here? I can't go past the Storm. I think the Storm, they're paying $1.16 to win. I think it's really short. The Raiders are $4.60 at home. That's a big price. But where do I go? Melbourne Storm minus a 13.5. The Melbourne Storm can score tries from anywhere. And I think Josh Adokar scored like 9 tries in 2 games. That is freakish. That is unbelievable numbers. So the Fox is doing a really good job there. But you couldn't do it without the inside men. And blokes like Bromwich and Kafusi are doing a really good job from the back row. And Tyson Smoothie, what a name. Tyson Smoothie. Yeah, I like that. So, yep, for me, it's a Storm all day, baby. Oh, yes. Well, what a Sunday match we have. The South Sydney Rabbitohs up against the Penrith Panthers. Well done on the Panthers. I think that's 10 in a row now. I think they've tied a record with the Roosters. And the Roosters, back in 1996, I think that was Ivan Cleary was a part of that squad. Now his son Nathan Cleary, who scored a hat-trick last week. He's setting up tries. He's doing everything right. Oh, yeah. No, you're all right, mate. Sweet. Let's go.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Fucking can't.
Yeah. Well, what a match we have for you here. South Sydney Rabbitohs up against the Penny Panthers and Dubbo. I love seeing these country grounds getting these big games. There ain't no bigger game. This is the biggest game of the season, I think. South Sydney Rabbitohs. They've been pummeled a couple of weeks ago by the Melbourne Storm, but if you want respect in the competition, you've got to beat the Penny Panthers. Penny Panthers are hunted week in, week out, and they're loving it. They love being the hunted. South Sydney Rabbitohs welcome back Latrell Mitchell. Latrell Mitchell, 4 weeks, he'll be fresh. This game can be anything. Where I see South trying to beat the Panthers here is through the middle. You've got to own the Panthers middle third. We know they've both got great backs. They've got very good halves. Reynolds, Nathan Cleary, we know they can do their job. But for me, it's the forward pack. It's when you roll up your sleeves and you're going straight through the middle. There's no good trying to go around them. We know they've got speed to burn. Alex Johnston, Benji Marshall doing his thing out there. But once again, the Penrith Panthers, just the way they're playing, no matter where you try to hit them through the middle, you try to go out wide, they always find something. On the back of kick out, Leota, I think one of the tries this season was Leota's try from a Dylan Edwards break last week. That sort of stuff is why the Panthers are favourites to win the title this year. I know Melbourne Storm are playing well, but the Panthers seem like they have another layer to their team. This is actually a good price for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, $3.10. Penrith Panthers, $1.32, deservedly so. Where do I go from here? Well, I'm going to stick on the Panthers here, minus 8.5 for $1.86. I just think good form is winning form, and the way they're playing at the moment, it's too hard to stop. Nathan Cleary, he's obviously favourite for the Dell this year. I think he just got pipped last year. So the Penny Panthers for me. But South Sydney are a chance. But I can't go past the Panthers. Wow. The Panthers. The Seagulls are at their best at the moment, up against the Eels. So I'll be honest, in the first month of the competition, I just thought the Seagulls, there's no way they can make the top 8. They're in my top 8 now. We know what Tommy Turbo brings to a side, but I just think it's a confidence of the young players in the team. Jason Saab, he's scoring tries, he's setting tries up, he's taking bombs. You got kids about 6'5", 6'6", he's just launching in. Young Morgan Harper, who's playing in the centres, he's doing a really good job. I love the hair too. It reminds me of the old Soul Glow days. Yeah, Soul Glow, we love that. And the halfback, Cherry Evans, he's leading them around. So their forward pack, they're doing an outstanding job, and they're going to have to be at their best because the Eels, no matter who the Eels play, they're having their best season for a long time. On the back of guys like Clint Gutherson, he's the marshal at the back, and I've got to say congratulations to that man there, young Jacob Arthur. He set a try up, he scored a try on debut, and it was good to see all his mates get around him. I think some of his mates, they drove for 10 hours to see the young man debut, and his dad gave him a bit of a hug there. But Mitchell Moses now, he's starting to go to that next level as a playmaker, and that certainly helps the Parramatta Eels. Who I'm tipping in this game? This is a tough game. I reckon the Manly Seagulls are $2.50. It's a really good price for the Seagulls. Winning form is good form, but the Parramatta Eels, there seems to be a real edge to the Parramatta Eels this year, and I reckon they're a different side. I'm taking the Parramatta Eels minus the 5.5 start for $1.84. I reckon it's a tough one, but get on the Eels there. But you Manly fans, you've got to be happy because you are humming just nicely. And good to see Big Marty Tapau playing well too. Really good game from him on the weekend. A lot of second phase play, a lot of meters gained. That's Big Dell's tips for round 11. I'll see you same time, same place next week. Happy punting, guys.